Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. It's summertime, and so that means it's moving season. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 1 to 9 people move every year, and that's going to equal roughly 40 million Americans, and most of them are going to be moving during the summer months. The moving season, with moving season, you always have to be cautious when you're hiring a mover. At the Better Business Bureau, we get complaints from anything ranging from damaged or missing items, late deliveries. Sometimes moving companies will hold your goods hostage until you pay them money for additional payments that you didn't even know you were going to have to do. Sometimes also your fees are going to end up being higher than your estimates, and that's not something that we want for you as consumers. So here today I have Leslye Plummer, the Marketing Director for All-American Relocation. Who's an accredited business, and she's going to give us some information on moving, the moving process, and some tips on how to avoid scams. So Leslye, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so jumping off, I just have a question. All-American has been in business since 1998, so I'm sure you've seen a number of moving scams. What are some red flags that people can look out in order to avoid becoming a victim?
Well, naturally, in the digital age, people are going to go to the internet to start looking for a mover. And I certainly say do your research on the internet, but please do not book your move over the internet. It's the best way to get your estimate is to have a person come out to your home and give you an estimate.
That's great. So speaking of that estimate process, can you kind of walk us through that? I know a lot of people are familiar with it, but maybe some consumers might not be.
Well, most movers offer free estimates, so I would encourage all consumers to take advantage of that process. It also gives you a chance to answer get the estimator to answer a bunch of questions. Mm-hmm. So if you're moving in North Carolina, let's say, if you're moving under 35 miles, your move will be based on an hourly rate. If you're moving over 35 miles, your move will be based on a time of weight and distance. So it is to your advantage to have an estimator come to your house, see all of the weight that you have, and see what any other kinds of logistical challenges that the mover may have. It's real important to look at logistics because the mover may see that you have a very steep driveway. How are we going to dolly your items to and from the truck? Are there a lot of stairs that our movers are going to have to go up and down? So those types of logistics are real important for the estimator to see. So please ask your mover, once you've selected them, for a visual inspection, for a visual survey. That's what we call it in the industry, and have an estimator come out and do a visual survey for you. You were asking me about some of the other red flags. I failed to mention that in North Carolina, the Utilities Commission regulates the moving industry. Okay. And all authorized movers have a certificate number. If you have done your research and you want to call a mover, when you call them, ask them for their C number and see what they say. If they can't provide that for you, then their chances are they may be an illegal mover, and that's a pretty big red flag. Also, if you call a mover and they say, ask you for a big deposit or cash, no way, Jose. Big red flag. Mm-hmm. And I would say if they also in the same vein, if they can't offer you references, movers love to talk about themselves just like anybody does. So if they can't provide you a reference, certainly another red flag.
Okay, and that's really important to take note, guys. Looking for that C number. Don't do any large deposits, and ask for references. That's something that movers would be more than willing to provide. So don't feel shy. Make sure that you're asking them. Another question I have to ask is, at BBB we always talk about asking companies and businesses about their licensure. Is that something that movers have?
Yes, they do. In North Carolina, like I said, it is regulated by the North Carolina Utilities Commission. And all movers are authorized by the commission with a certificate number, that C number. If you have done your research and you're ready to select your mover, you can go to the North Carolina Utilities Commission website at ncuc.net. Or call them at 919-733-7766 and see if the mover you selected is on that list. Now, the North Carolina Movers Association website, ncmovers.org, is also a good resource as well. All the members of the association are issued certificate numbers. So yes, I would encourage you definitely to look for the C numbers. Now, also another way to check as well, it is required by law for these movers to have that C number on their advertising, their business cards, and on the back upper left corner of their trucks. So look for the C number in all those print materials and on their trucks as well.
Okay, so that's really important, guys. Got to look for that C number. And like Leslye said, it's on advertising, business cards, in the back left side of the truck?
Correct.
Okay, so those 3 places, make sure you're looking for it. Make sure you ask for it. That C number is really important to make sure that you're doing business with a legitimate company. Now, speaking of legitimate companies, we know All-American Relocation is an accredited business, and obviously that's someone that we can trust. How do they get in touch with you if someone is looking to do a move?
Well, we have 3 offices in Raleigh, Charlotte, and Fayetteville, North Carolina. You can call our 800 number at 800-366-8809, and there you'll be directed to a live voice. We don't really believe in pre-recording. The live voice will find out where you're moving from and put you in touch with the correct office, whether it be Raleigh, Charlotte, or Fayetteville. Once you're in the correct office, you will be assigned a move coordinator. The move coordinator will go through your move details and help you establish your move plan. If you just want to do a little snooping around on our website, you can go to www.aacorp-usa.com. I'm going to say that again.
Yeah.
www.aacorp-usa.com. There you can snoop around and see a lot of different services that we offer. As well, there's a moving quote form there. So let's say you don't want to make that phone call quite yet, but you just want to maybe just reach out and establish a relationship with us. Mm-hmm. There's only 4 small fields that you fill in and hit submit, and that will go to one of our move coordinators, and they'll call you and set up an appointment with you.
Yeah, easy as that, guys. Just visit their website,
Easy.
give them a call. It's aacorp-usa.com. So make sure you go to that website. And All-American Relocation, like I said, is an accredited business. You know they're going to be trustworthy, and that's something that goes a long way, especially when you're doing something as big as moving. So, especially since you have offices in, you said, Raleigh, Charlotte, and Fayetteville, I'm sure you do lots of moves. How many would you say that you're doing right now?
Lots right now. We are in the busy season, and so we are doing a lot of moves. We're doing about 475 to 500 moves this month of July, and those are just residential moves. Those are people who move in locally, long distance, military moves, and international moves. It does not include commercial moving that we also do as well.
Mm-hmm. So that means you're really busy. So I think it's extremely important for you to book a move ahead of time, right?
Indeed. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
So that's something you definitely want to be doing. All-American Relocation is obviously really busy. I'm sure other movers are as well. So make sure you're getting ahead of the game and looking to book your move as soon as possible. I think that's really important, especially when you're looking to do business with a trustworthy company. Now I have one more question. I forgot to add it earlier. I think there's something that's required for home estimators and movers to give. It's a brochure. It's called Moving in North Carolina. Can you give us a little insight on that?
Sure. That brochure was produced for consumers by the North Carolina Utilities Commission to educate consumers about the moving process. That brochure is required by law to be handed to you when your estimator is in your home giving you the estimate. Within that brochure, you can find out a lot of information about your move, what's going to happen on move date, what's going to happen on delivery date, how is my move going to be quoted, what are my valuation options, what are my storage options. So I would definitely recommend, once you receive that pamphlet, that you read it carefully. They have cleverly named that pamphlet Moving 101, and it certainly does take you through the A to Z of moving. If you're not into looking at the brochure, the Utilities Commission has also produced this colorful card called the Move It card. This is more of a quick read. It has a little bit more of the frequently asked questions that consumers ask about their move, as well as a QR code where you can scan and find out the illegal movers and the authorized movers with the C certificates in North Carolina. Yeah. Now, the brochure and this card are available on the North Carolina Movers website, which is ncmovers.org. So you can go there to get this information.
Okay, great. ncmovers.org, that's where you get it, and it's called Moving 101, not Moving in North Carolina like I thought, but Leslye, of course, is the expert, so she knows best. So ncmovers.org, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's where you need to go to make sure you get that great information. That's all I have. Do you have anything else to add for our viewers?
Well, you know what? I was sitting here thinking, we were talking about some moving tips, and I didn't share with you, Alyssa, some of the maybe ways people might be interested in saving money on their move. Yeah. The move is a very multifaceted exchange of services, and of course we're always looking to save some money. If you book your move in the middle of the month, then instead of the end of the month, you might save some money there. Also, book your move during the week and not on the weekends. It costs more to move on the weekends. Things that you can do is purge some of the things that you might not be using at your new residence. Also, you can pack. As tiresome as that sounds, but you can pack your own stuff, and that will save you money as well. And let's see what else there was. There was one more. I said, if you can arrange to have someone to disconnect and then reconnect your appliances at your new residence, that will help save you money. We hire a third-party company, most movers do, to do that kind of work. But if you can do that yourself or find someone to do that, that might save you some money too.
Yeah, and those are tips that everyone wants to know how to save some money. So it's just simple things, packing yourself, maybe getting another company to disconnect your appliances, even looking to move during the middle of the week or towards the end of the month. I mean, those are great tips and something that we really appreciate you sharing with us, Leslye. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I really appreciate being here. I also forgot to mention as well, we've been talking a little bit about the movers being legal or illegal and having these certificate numbers and how important it is. And we've seen over the years that North Carolina is experiencing a lot of illegal movers. And we have the North Carolina Movers Association in partnership with the BBB, the Utilities Commission, and the Highway Patrol are working really hard to get these illegal movers out of consumers' homes. So we kind of want to thank the BBB for helping us do this. It's going to be much better for the consumer in the end.
Yeah, well, thank you. We love working with trustworthy businesses and obviously the right agencies to make sure that consumers are getting what they deserve. So
I agree. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining us, and guys, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next time when we have some more consumer tips and information. See you then.